Okay, right. The first one we discussed about a server kind of stuff. What is a server? Okay, so server operating systems, services, hardware related kind of stuff. It means not internal hardware, it is like server. So we call something as a server. I have a laptop. This is called as a laptop, desktop, called as a desktop, right? We call something a machine as a server. So what type of those servers as a machine wise? Okay, tower server, blade server, rack server, blade server. Okay, different servers. Okay, hardware wise, operating system, Windows server, Linux server. Okay, Unix servers, IBM servers. So different type of servers, different services we are getting, different services we are getting. So the services are like this. DHCP service, DNS service, web services, file services, FTP services. Okay, storage services, database services. Okay, like this, different type of services. Second, we discussed about a storage. The storage is, again, we are going to discuss complete part of storage, the basic part of storage we discussed. Okay, because for this small importance is there. So where you store a data for internal storage for your operating system and applications, we store our data into hard disk and SSDs. SSDs we are storing. Okay, so and this is for storing our operating system, application data internally for our desktop, laptop, servers also same. But you want to store a data, huge amount of data. We store the data into the SCSI type of disk. The SCSI is a kind of small computer system interface. Interface means it's an adapter. We insert this SCSI disk in SCSI adapters into the server, and so we can able to connect a multiple disk into the SCSIs. SCSI disk or hot server means while server is running, we can attach or detach a disk. We can attach and detach a disk, just like your pen drive, hot server. And multiple disks we can able to connect. Means more number of devices you can connect means more storage you will get. On the SCSI disk, we can apply a kind of stuff is like a RAID kind of implementation. We can do it for redundancy and large volumes, or you can apply LVMs on your SCSI disk. You can do it. Okay. Other type of storage solutions you can make. This SCSI, so as I said, it's an interface card inserted into your server. So you are connecting this SCSI disk. The SCSI disk is earlier it is a parallel type of connectivity. Now the serial type of connectivities came up. So that is called SSDs. Now we are having this SCSI boxes we are having. So directly we can insert into this. Or in a rack servers, tower servers, or in a some blade servers. The built-in SCSI is there. So you can directly insert this SAS disk into the servers. Or you can make it as a single box. And in a box, you can able to insert this disk and connect it to that box and for storing the data. Implement some redundancy type means LVM and RAID on this SCSI disk, SCSI or a SAS disk. Okay. Again, we discussed about a RAID. The RAID, different levels of RAID is a redundant array of independent or inexpansive disk. We'll come back to the RAID again. Next, data you can store into your attached disk, means internal hard disk, external hard disk, your pen drives, or SCSI type of disk directly attached to the server. These are all directly attached type of storages. NAS is NAS, network attached storage. It means it's a centralized storage. So there is the data in the centralized system and in the centralized storage. Data is accessed by using a Ethernet based protocols like NFS CIFS protocols used in the NAS. Okay, NFS CIFS protocols we are using to access the data. It's a file level access. So it's a centralized services, not as a enterprise solution, but and no redundancy is here. If you want redundancy, you can also implement redundancy. Okay, it does not mean no redundancy it is, but not pure redundancy type. So disk like RAID implementation will give you. So works based on the shared protocols kind of stuff, NAS and CFS. SAN is centralized storage. Okay, these three are a type of storages. Disk. Okay, this is a type of storages. So SAN is also one of the type of storage, centralized storage, providing centralized storage. Compared to NAS, it is a faster and costly also. And SAN is also providing redundancies, full redundancy. Use fiber optical fiber channel wise connectivity. Okay. So we have a storage servers, okay, storage boxes, and then so fiber optical switches. Okay, we are using to connect all this together in a full mesh topology or a leaf and spine topology. SAN is that is use FCR iSCSI protocols. We create a LANs and you can connect. You can assign these LANs to the different machines. Okay, so we discussed about a storage. In this storage, again I said I will tell the RAID. So RAID having a different levels. Redundant array of independent disk. Redundant array of independent disk. Next, we combine two or more disks together to create a large volumes or for redundancy purpose. So RAID 0 is called stripped volume. Is a stripped volume. We combine two or more disks and get a large volume. So total volume is includes multiple volumes. Okay. Use two or more. Combine two or more disks. Combine two or more disks and create a single large volume. That is a RAID 0. Next is RAID 1. And no redundancy in the RAID 0. Next is RAID 1 called mirror volume. Mirror volume. Here we are using only two disks. Two disks. It is a single disk failure. Okay. Single disk failure. Anybody can implement in their system the RAID 1. It means you have a desktop. For example, when we are working in a Pune office that time, so our front office desktop that hard disk always failure. Always. 2 times it is got failure. Okay. So what to do? So suddenly a person came to get to pay the some bill, or maybe get some information, or he wanted some receipt. Disk failure. Okay, if you have a backup also, for restoring backup, take time. You have to buy a disk and restore the backup. Okay, that is also taken a time. But we need a immediate access, right? So what to do? Put another disk, attach one more disk to existing disk, attach one more disk. Okay, and implement mirror. Go to disk management, right click and implement the mirror. And what happened? Both disks are available. Both disks having a same copy of data. So when data is reading and writing, okay, both disks are having same kind of data. Okay, if one disk is failure, still user can able to access the data. But without a parity, no parity kind of things we are using. So it means you are using two disks and you are getting one disk volume only. This is you are getting total disk volume. Total disk volume you are getting. But this is one disk volume only you are getting. Okay. Write file. Okay. Now write, most important one is write file. It is not for your desktop purpose. It's usually server purposes because write file need minimum 3 days. This is called a write file volume only. There is no specific name for it. Okay. Write file. Label is write file. Volume name is write file volume. We use minimum 3 disks here. We use 3 disks here. Minimum of 3 disks we are using. Okay. So it is also single disk failure. Single disk failure with parity. With parity. Okay. With parity. So it means you are getting a 2 disk volume. Okay. What is this parity bits? So one disk contains the data. What are the data is in one disk? This one disk is some data is written in one disk. Data is written in a disk. That data's parity data will be stored in another disk. This parity data is nothing but a checksum data of actual data. From actual data, it's a checksum data. Like that. So while data is reading and writing, data will be stored in any of the disk. Randomly it will store into the different disk. But what are the data is storing in one disk? That parity bit stuff data is stored in another disk. What is the advantage? Is one of the disk is failure. You replace with a new hard disk. And automatically this write will regenerate the new data, the old, means the previous disk content data will be regenerated back to this disk. Okay, it will automatically regenerate it. Okay, so and it will give you more space compared to mirror volume. You are getting 2/3 of total volume you are getting in a write file. So mirror is 1.5 volume. Here it is 2/3. It means here you take a 2 terabyte, 2 terabyte. In a mirror, 2 terabyte, 2 terabyte. You got 2 terabyte. Here you taken 2 terabyte, 2 terabyte, 2 terabyte. So you'll get a 4 terabyte total volume. Okay, out of 6, you're getting 4 terabyte. Out of 4, you're getting 2 terabyte. So you'll take a reverse calculation. So it is totally 6 terabytes, right? It's a totally 6, 2 terabyte, 2 terabyte, 2 terabyte. Totally 6 terabyte. But in a write file, you are getting only 4 terabyte. Take this 3 terabyte, 3 terabyte in mirror. 3 terabyte, 3 terabyte. How much you are getting? 3 terabyte. This means is a comparatively, okay, you are getting great speed, right? Yes. Of course, Remaining are optionals only. So for example, RAID 6. RAID 6 is also RAID 6 value. Here we use 5 disk. 5 disk we are using. It's a 2 disk failure. It's a 2 disk failure with parity. Okay. Other RAIDs like a RAID 0 and 1. Okay. RAID 10, RAID 50 is a combination of these RAIDs. So this is RAID, redundant array of independent disk and inexpansive disk. Guys, understand now at least what have we discussed yesterday?
Yes, sir. Understood.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And also we discuss DAS, NAS, SAN. DAS we understand, so directly attached storage. NAS, centralized storage. SAN also centralized storage. DAS is like a local storage type. So my data is stored in my hard disk. DAS. Okay, or I can able to access data. Okay, but you can't able to access. Even if you are in the same network, it's not easy to access like that. But centralized storage means anybody can able to access data. Okay, from one location. So this is a file level access. Okay, both are centralized, but this is file level access time. This is block level storage. Block level storage or block level access. Okay, next we use a protocols like NFS sharing or CIFS sharing. We are using to access this nice type of storages. SAN is not like that. SAN is use FCs, fiber optical channel wise connectivities. iSCSI based. iSCSI means it is IP based SAN. Okay, IP SAN means it is iSCSI protocol we are using. Okay. In a NAS, it is simple. You have a server or a storage space. You share a folder, and from other location, we access the shared folder. We keep a data and access the data and upload the data here. Not only NFS CIFS, you can use HTTP, FTP protocols to store the data. Okay. SAN is also providing redundancy. So in a NAS, you want redundancy, you have to follow the RAID. Either RAID 1 or RAID 5 implementation on your disk. So then you will get a redundancy. But NAS is not like that. NAS is full redundancy, means including path connected redundancy also there. And it is used a fiber optical type of connectivities. So devices are connected to these fiber optical switches for high-speed data transmission purpose. Okay, and it is connected like this. It is in a full mesh topology, means star mesh topology kind of stuff, or hub and leaf type of topology. We are connected. In case of when file server is down, so other file server is able to provide a service. Even a switch is down, so other switches provide a path to connected. Even a storage base, it's a storage base replica. This what are the storage base are there? Same replica data is here. Okay, so like that you can able to access storage here. We create a disk spaces called a LUN. Here we created a certain disk space like 1 terabyte, 2 terabyte, 200 GB, 500 GB LUNs we are creating. Just like we are created a logical volumes, like that we are creating. And these volumes will assign to the different systems. Okay, including different type of servers like a web server, okay, or some application server, database servers. We can assign these LANs. So people store their data into these LANs. The LANs are attached to the machine just like a local disk, how the dash local disk is attached. Okay, same way we are able to see it. Okay, same way it is attached like that only. It's look like it is the disk is the LAN, the disk is into the server. It's look like it's a local disk. It's a local disk. But originally, what are the data it is storing here? Okay, what are the data is storing here? The data is stored here only. Okay, so this is stack. Got the point, guys? What we discussed yesterday means first part. Next part what we discuss is about a virtualization. Virtualization. What is a virtualization? What is the difference between physical and virtual? Physical machines are physical things having physical hardware and it is do certain purpose, right? I have a laptop. It contains physical hardware. I'm using this laptop for a internet access, okay, or running different kind of application, okay, writing on a paintbrush, reading the documents. It's a different kind of stuff I'm doing. So like that, right? It is so physical exist. But virtual machine is also physically existing one, but does not contain physical hardware, right? Where to start? Again, first statement. In virtualizations, the first statement is, okay, it is a software representation or virtual representation of server or a network, a storage, or an application. It's a virtual representation. Okay, or a software representation. Software defined. Okay, that is a virtualization. So second is, what is this virtual machine? Virtual machine or virtual hard disk, virtual network, yes, right? So based on that, so what is this types of this virtualizations? I said software defined or a virtual representation of applications, network, storage, servers, okay, software defined. What are the types of virtualization? Types: server virtualization, network virtualization, desktop virtualization, application virtualization, storage virtualization. Okay. If you want, you can add I said 5 plus 2. Okay. What are the first 5? Server virtualization, network virtualization, storage virtualization, desktop virtualization, application virtualization. What are the other 2? User state virtualization, presentation virtualization. Okay. These are the total virtualizations. As I said, actually, this is types of virtualization. This is what is virtualization. Next, I want to say about virtual machine. To understand virtualization easily, with our experiences, virtual machines. We work with the virtual machines like a an VMware workstation. We install Linux, Windows Server, Windows 10 machines. We use this virtually. Virtualization is different, guys. Simulation is different. Emulation is different. Stimulation is different. Simulators are different. Emulators are different. Virtualizations are different. Okay, are different. Simulator means we use Cisco Packet Tracer. That is a simulator. Okay, it's a pre-built environment. Already there is some existing environment is there. So components are there. So we use that components and create our own network, and we do practice. All pre-built kind of stuff. Okay, so it is a lightweight and you can easily understand. You can simulate a function of the network. That's it. Simulate. Okay, but that's not a virtual one. Not really virtual one. Yes. Again, what is this virtual machines? From what is we can understand. Virtual machines as a function as a physical machines. Virtual machines runs on the physical hardware. It consumes physical resources. To create and run the virtual machines, your hardware has to get supported. Inside your CPU, virtualization technology instructions must be there. Okay, and it should be enabled. How to check it is enabled or not? Go to the task manager in a Windows. Go to task manager. Performance. Okay, CPU. There you can find. This is why it is not yet open. Okay, performance. CPU. Okay, virtualization is enabled. So if it is enabled like that, it means I can run virtual machines in my system. Okay. So that too we can run 32-bit or 64-bit machines you can run. And the machine means compulsory this your processor must be 64-bit and this virtualization technology instructions must be there. Whether it is Intel or AMD processor, but virtualization technology must be there and it should be enabled. So I just showed how to check the it is enabled or not, or you can use the command line also to verify this virtualization is enabled or not. Using systeminfo.exe in the command prompt, then it will show us the virtualization technology, second level translation must be enabled, yes, that is, it will show. Okay, if not, then you have to enable the virtualization technology in the BIOS settings. You have to go to the BIOS setting or UEFI settings. There you have to enable this settings. Okay, virtualization technology settings you have to enable. Next time. Yes. So once you are enable this virtualization technology, your system share its resources to your virtual machines. Okay. So once again, what is the virtual machine? It functions like a same as a physical machine. Here you can run different types of operating system and application in the virtual machines. You can customize your hardware requirements to your virtual machines. Okay. So like for example, your Linux is required 2 GB RAM. So you can assign 2 GB. Your Windows is required 1 GB RAM. So we'll put a 1 GB RAM. Okay. So we can customize the hardware resources. Okay. Virtual machines are running on your physical hardware. Consume your physical resources, hardware resource, CPU, RAM, storage, network. Okay. And these virtual machines are intact with your physical machine. It is isolated from physical machine. Okay. So you can able to copy or remove your virtual machines. Copy or move your virtual machine. You can create a snapshot on this virtual machine in case of you want to do certain changes in your virtual machines internally, but you are having a doubt that is it may be going to be fail and it will corrupt your existing configuration. Create a snapshot and try new settings, new application on your virtual machine. In case something is goes bad, you can roll back. You can clone your virtual machine, means you can make an exact copy of your virtual machine and you can run with the different settings. Okay. So that is what it is. So virtual machine means. Finally, yesterday we discussed about a server virtualization. Server virtualization. What is this server virtualization? That is the server virtualization. So in a server virtualization, so you can create and run multiple virtual machines in a single server. Means you can able to run multiple operating systems in a single physical machines in the virtual machines. Okay, with highly performance virtual machines. Okay, so you can run multiple virtual machines. So in these virtual machines, you can install different type of operating system. Different type of operating systems. Okay, we can run different type of operating system in it. In the different applications, we can run it. Different services, we can run it in the these virtual machines. Okay, so this is what I first point of server virtualization. How to achieve this one? So you have a hardware. You have a hardware. So you take a server, this specific hardware requirements, right? Means you have a CPU, RAM, storage, network. Okay. So this is a hardware, right? You want to run anything on the hardware, we need an operating system. But now we are not using an operating system is there. So we need a virtual machines to run. So what we are using hypervisor. Hypervisor. What is this hypervisor? This is a virtualization platform or virtualization layer. You can able to install on the hardware, directly on the hardware. Okay, directly on the hardware. Okay, just like how we install a OS on your hardware, similarly these hypervisors get installed. Next. These hypervisors means the core hypervisors from different organizations. These hypervisors are available. For example, from VMware company. So ESXi is a software. ESXi is a hypervisor. You download ESXi, install into your machine, then it is become ESXi server or ESXi host. Okay. Of course, it is showing 9 version right now, but 8 is there, 8.3 version is available. 7 is a little older version now. Okay. From Microsoft, Hyper-V server, not just Hyper-V, you should say Hyper-V server. Okay, download Hyper-V server, install into your machine. It has become hypervisor, Hyper-V server. Citrix also providing Zen server. Proximox. It's a Proxmox. It's a free software. VE, Proximox VE is a free version. Proximox is a open source community kind of stuff. So you can download, install, and you can achieve virtualization. From Red Hat, RHEV is a virtualization platform. Okay. So as I know, these are the main available in market virtualization platforms. Okay. So you take a machine, install any of these hypervisors, you can able to create a virtual machines and run a virtual machine. To create and run the virtual machines, in this one, we need a desktop tool. Okay. Just what we need. You have to connect this hypervisor using a through web client or a desktop client application connected to the hypervisor machine and create a virtual machine. In Hyper-V, you can connect with the remote Hyper-V tools, okay? Remote Hyper-V tools, or using PowerShell also you can able to connect it and create a virtual machines. Okay? Windows admin centers you can connect. Next. These are all a type 1 virtualization, which means bare metal virtualization kind of stuff. It's called a type 1 virtualization. What is a type 1 virtualization? Is a bare metal virtualization. The virtualization platforms. These virtualization platforms means hypervisors installed directly on the hardware, and the virtual machines directly runs on your hardware. There is no interaction of operating system here. Directly runs on it. And these hypervisors also available along with an operating system. Example, Hyper-V. Again, Hyper-V server is different, Hyper-V is different. Microsoft Hyper-V comes along with the OS. For example, you take Windows 8, 8.1, Windows 10, Windows 11, 64-bit compulsory, 64-bit OSs, 64-bit hardware, and editions must be either Pro or Enterprise. In these versions and editions, Hyper-V feature is available. So install that feature. So your system get a Hyper-V feature. So then install that feature, and you can able to create and run virtual machines on the Hyper-V. Next, it is also as a role in the Windows servers. In Windows 2008, in 2008, 32-bit is there, 64-bit is there. So in the 64-bit, this Hyper-V is there. In 2008, R2 onwards, it's a purely 64-bit OS. There is no 32-bit server OS after 2000, means from 2008 R2. Okay. So from all these things, from 2008 R2, 2012, 2016, 2019, 2022, everybody is having, all these are having Hyper-V. So earlier to the 2008 64-bit, means 2003, 2000 don't have a Hyper-V. Okay, this is the virtualization platform. Comes along with the OS. Along with this operating systems, this as a role or a feature, Hyper-V is available. This also comes under bare metal because once you are, even though it is comes with an operating system, it is installed on your hardware. Okay, and your VMs runs on your hardware. No interference of your host OS. Okay, next, KVM, another platform called KVM QEMU. It's also provide a virtualization platform. It is also a virtualization platform. It is available including this RHEV, Proximox VE. These are also KVM QEMU based virtualizations only. Okay, this KVM QEMU based virtualizations available in a Linux. Of course, in Linux 6 onwards itself, you are having like a Red Hat Enterprise Linux 6, Oracle Enterprise Linux 6 onwards. This KVM QEMV built-in is there. But it's much improved in 7 version, much better in a 7th version. So virtualization platform, use it to create and run the virtualization. So this is a type 1 virtualization. Type 1 virtualization means it's a bare metal virtualization. Hypervisor directly runs on your hardware. Okay. Only pure hypervisors are VMware ESXi, Microsoft Hyper-V servers, Citrix Zen server, Proximox VE, Red Hat Enterprise Virtualization. Okay. And this type 1 virtualization, these hypervisors, along with the operating system, as a feature or a role in your Windows systems. In Pro and Enterprise editions, 64-bit process, 64-bit devices, this Hyper-V as a feature or a role is available. Okay. And in your Linux also, in a Linux, along with your Linux OS, also you are getting this platform KVM and QE. So that is a type 1 virtualization. Then we'll go with the type 2 virtualization. Type 2 virtualization. What is this type 2 virtualization? These are entirely type 1 virtualization. Okay. For type 1 means it's like a pure hypervisors means very less user interface. So you have to connect with a web client or a desktop client or some management softwares, right? That related softwares. They're like a desktop clients interfaces. You have to connect it to your hypervisor and create and run your virtual machines, managing your hypervisor servers. To connect these virtual machines, to access the direct virtual machine, you are using different kind of methods, right? How to access a remote machine using different protocols like RDP, okay, or SSH, or Telnet, PNCs, different type of remote access connections. We use it to connect our virtual machines and access. Like we access our Linux machine using SSH, same way we are connected. So this is type 1. Then what is this type 2 virtualization? Type 1, type 2 virtualization. Guys, what we are using is a type 2 virtualizations. What we are using type 2 virtualization in our laptops. See it is. You have a hardware. Hardware is common, right? CPU, RAM, okay, storage, network, like this. Hardware is there. And you have an operating system to run different type of applications. You have an operating system also there. Okay, you are running. I'm running Paintbrush because of I have OS. On the OS, I'm running Paintbrush application. Right? We have a general operating system, Windows operating system, Linux operating system, Mac operating system. We have OS. Okay, so then what we need is a virtualization solution. If along with this operating system as a feature or a role, if you are getting a virtualization platform, we can use it, no problem. Along with my OS, okay? So I am getting this Hyper-V feature because of my version. What is my version is Windows 11 Pro Edition. So I will get a Hyper-V. So I can install this Hyper-V and use Hyper-V as my virtualization platform. If I'm using Linux base, so if I will get this KVM QEMB platform, so I can use that virtualization platform. In that case, it's not there. In case you are not if it is available, in that case you will use that one. If it is not available or you don't want to use that one, then what you do? You have to go with this hypervisor applications. Okay, so we use a kind of hypervisor applications. To run an application, what is required? Your hardware is required and operating system also. Without a OS, you can't run any applications. So we are using a different type of applications. Okay, either VMware Workstation, VMware Player, okay, Oracle VM VirtualBox, okay, or a virtual PC. It's a older one, not running right now. So we use an application. Application runs on the operating system. And using this application, we create a virtual machines, run the virtual machines in our own system. It's not a centralized one because type 1, in that one type 1, this is a full pure hypervisors. These are a centralized virtualizations. And this type means along with operating system also not a centralized one, but centralized one is this server virtualization. This is not purely centralized one. And this is also not a purely centralized one. Okay, it's not a centralized, it's a localized one. Okay, so we can get a localized or isolated virtualization solution. So you can create a virtual machines and run the virtual machine in your system. That is also you can say it's a part of like it's a kind of desktop virtualization. Desktop virtualization, 2-3 kind of stuff is there. This is also one kind of desktop virtualization. So what is this apps? This is hypervisor applications. Okay. What are these hypervisor applications? From VMware company. VMware is an organization. You are getting workstation. For MacBook, there is something like a fusion kind of stuff is there. Okay, from Oracle, VirtualBox. Okay, from Oracle, it is a VirtualBox. Okay, earlier older version of Microsoft old one application is there, virtual PC application. Purpose is install this hypervisor application on top of your operating system. Using these applications, you can create and run the virtual machines. Okay, this is called a type 2 virtualization. Type 2 virtualization means it works hypervisor application. Type 1 means directly installing your hardware. So either it is as a direct product available like a VMware ESXi or Microsoft Hyper-V servers, Zen servers, Proximox VE type, Red Hat Enterprise virtualizations, directly install in a physical hardware and used as a centralized virtualization server virtualizations. It's a bare metal virtualization. Or in a type 1, another one is the virtualization platforms comes along with your operating system. These are not an applications. These are not a applications. It is built-in feature or a role-wise. These are available. Hyper-V mainly is not an application or a package. It's a built-in feature or a role comes along with your operating system. Okay, as a feature or role. Okay, even you install Hyper-V in a Windows 11 in a Pro edition. It is initially installed on OS. First 2 times it will install. First on OS, then it is on directly on hardware. Okay, so it is also comes under bare metal virtualization, but still there is a side operating system is there. Yes, your host means your physical machine having an operating system that is called a host OS. Physical machines OS is host OS. And virtual machines OS running in the virtual machine called guest OS. Virtual machines OS we call it as a guest OS. Once again, what is a Hyper-V? Sorry, hypervisor. Hypervisor is a virtualization platform. These hypervisors divide your CPU and share the CPU into your virtual machines, or you can easily share. Hypervisor is help you to share your physical resources to the virtual machines. So that okay, our virtual machines are created to run this virtual machines, this hypervisor provide an access to your physical machines resources. Anyway, you can tell, but without changing meaning. Exactly say hypervisor is a virtualization platform. It virtualize your hardware array. It share your hardware resources to your virtual machines. That's it. Up to here, we discussed yesterday. So I completed in a less than a 1 hour. Okay. Hmm. Guys are okay? Understand? Clarified? Are confused back? Okay, instead of clarification, you got a lot of confusion in it. Okay. Compared to earlier, do you got some clarification between this type 1, type 2 virtualization, but server virtualization, virtual machine, different type of hypervisors? Get some clarity? Hmm.
Yes, sir.
Very good. Now we'll see about this VMware. Okay. So after small break. Okay.